Hello class, this is Dr. Mehdi and I'd like to welcome you to week 5. We've got 4 chapters that we're going to be covering this week. I hope everything went well for the midterm. At least you have an idea of the type of questions you will have on the final. The final is not, it's not going to be all inclusive, so you don't have to worry about that. It's only going to be the chapters that we've covered after the midterm exam. So not to worry about that. This week we're going to be covering 4 chapters. We're going to start with chapter 9, which is getting us into human resource management, because the key to being a successful manager is hiring the right people. So we're going to look at getting the most important resource and getting the right resources. We're going to look at recruitment and selection, compensation and benefits, orientation, training, and development, which is important, and then the much dreaded performance appraisal. I know you always look forward to yours, right? Managing promotions, transfers. How do you discipline someone? How do you dismiss them? The hardest thing is to fire someone. I've done it and it's not easy. We're also going to look at the legal requirements of human resource management. What are the things that we do and don't have to do? And we're also going to look at labor management issues. So all these things are included in chapter 9. As we move on to chapter 10, we're looking at the nature of change in the organization. Change is the hardest thing for people to accept. People are resistant to it. There's 2 types of it. We're going to talk about those. There are forces outside and inside the organization that cause change. So a lot of times employees think, well, my organization just changed something and they didn't care. No, sometimes they have no choice. It depends on the forces outside and in the organization that require them to make a change. And sometimes it's in order to survive. So what is organizational development? We'll talk about that. We're going to also look at promoting innovation within the organization. There's 2 myths about it that we're going to cover. We're also going to look at the types of innovation. They're not all the same. And of course, as I said, the threat of change. How do you get employees to calm down and not resist change? We're also going to look at 10 reasons why employees resist change. So these are important as well. Once we get to chapter 11, we're getting into leadership, which is my favorite topic. How do you manage individual differences in people? How do you supervise people with different personalities? The big 5 personality dimensions, we're going to look at those. We're going to look at emotional intelligence. That's my other favorite topic. What's involved in that? Not only understanding your own emotions, but being able to control them, especially when other people are unable to control their own. Values, attitudes, and behavior. People behave the way they do because of their values and their attitudes. It triggers their behaviors. So we're going to look at that. Why is perception important? It's very important in individual behavior. Excuse me. There's work-related attitudes. There's employee engagement, job satisfaction. Why is there a lack of sometimes of a commitment to the organization? We're also going to look at diversity and trends in workforce diversity. And the biggie is stress. Workplace stress. How do you stay unstressed at work? It's pretty challenging, right? So we're going to look at that. We're going to look at the consequences of stress and some things to reduce stress in the organization. And then as we round out week 5 to chapter 12, we get to motivation. How do we get employees to be motivated? What is motivation? Why is it important? We're going to look at Maslow. He's a key figure in motivation of employees, as is McClellan. He's the one who says there's 3 main needs that employees strive for: achievement, affiliation, and power. We're going to look at Herzberg. We're going to look at different perspectives on employee motivation as far as theories. So think about the equity theory, expectancy theory, goal setting theory. Employees want to feel that they're being treated fairly and equitably, and if they're not, they get upset. Motivation drops. These are things we're going to look at. One key thing that's interesting too is fitting people to the jobs, and we've talked about that. Fitting the jobs to the people. So, sometimes they'll say, she's not a good fit. What does that mean? Why is it important for an employee to not only fit to the job, but to fit to the culture of the organization, and to also make sure that the job is appropriate for the person? If you don't like people, don't take a job in customer service, just as an example. We're also going to look at the 4 types of reinforcement. Of course, there's positive, negative, extinction, and punishment. We'll look at those. And then look at how to use reinforcement to motivate employees. That'll round us out for week 5. We've got chapters 9, 10, 11, and 12. Read the chapters, listen to the lectures, complete the match games and upload them, complete the discussion board questions, and you're good to go. Keep thinking of those papers, because there's a lot of good topics in these chapters that you can look at from a management standpoint. Okay? Dr. Medi signing off. Talk to you later.